Greetings fellow Demon Slayers, this is Taimanin here today with the daily video. For today I'm just going to let you guys look at my PvP builds and then show you some matches so you can get an idea of how my team works. Before doing that, I just want to preface by saying, thanks everyone who has joined the Discord server. We are just over a week now and we are now sitting at 150 members. So it seems to be retaining people and more people have been joining, which is awesome. So I just want to say thank you guys for all the support. And it's awesome that you guys are there discussing the game, having a good time. I do hope that more people decide to join. As per usual, the link will be in the description. So from there, we'll get right into it. First, we will look at the character builds that I'm using. So we will look at Sakura first. Now, I will preface by saying I do not have any PvP weapons yet. I did not end the week with enough coins to get one. And even then, some of my ultra rare weapons are S level 5, so I find it really hard to replace them for PvP weapons right now, even with the damage boost they give. But as I get dupes of PvP weapons, yes, they will be swapped into my gear loadout. But for now, I'm gonna look at what I have. For Sakura, we do have an S level 5 Garou Kiba. On critical hit, the defense debuff is just really valuable, because it just causes her to melt an enemy as long as she gets clean hits. Now, speaking of clean hits, the two main skills I use for DPS will be the Shadow Cleave. We all know about the spin and how powerful it can be. If she gets a clean hit and the enemy does not iframe out of it, if it does not one-shot them, it will definitely cripple them and leave them easy to pick off by her. Same thing with the Shadow Shark. She doesn't always land it, but when she does, the damage output is insane, just like the spin. So these two skills I use just to get high damage off on the enemy. And when they do go through with clean hits, they are very powerful. For the final skill, I am using the Shadow Fling, since it does reduce the enemy damage output by 30% for 15 seconds. And she simply just jumps up and throws a shuriken that homes in. So when that hits the enemy, their attacks are just debuffed, allowing her to be relatively tanky and live long enough to fish for clean hits, on top of doing a nice little chunk of damage. It isn't as much as the first two skills, but it's guaranteed damage since it does basically home in. For supporters, for the main, I am using Haruka. Obviously, she will be on the any protection loadout for the damage reduction that she gives you against humans, and I have her as the main for the additional 60% DPS against humans she provides, making it way easier for Sakura to melt another enemy player. For the first sub-support, we do have Mai for the 20% damage reduction, and then Fuma is a filler slot. I would prefer to have something here like Suzune, but I can't pull for her at the moment. I don't have the gems for that. So we'll keep Fuma on the loadout just for the extra stats she provides at level 60. Next, we're looking at Renko. Now, my Renko is really low level, and I am going to be working on her soon. But for right now, she is still very useful because of the CC that the build she uses provides. So for her weapon, we are using the Kirin for the potential groggy proc, as well as the active on Kirin for the nice percentage buff of damage and the knockback it provides. Now, Renko is not shy about using Kirin's active, so it's not a bad weapon on her. Once she gets 3 bars in PvP or 3 particles, she does tend to proc it. So that's a good choice. For her skills, we are using the Meteor Impact. Yes, it does a lot of damage, but I really like having it for the knockdown because it allows her to fish for Ito chains and do her basic attack. And the same thing with Wind Slice. At a 3 set of protection, it will make the enemy groggy, allowing her to fish for more auto attacks. And then the Ito, self-explanatory for the 30% damage buff to auto attacks, as well as the particle charge it does provide to help her use more Kirin procs. Looking at her supporters, I do keep Fuma as her main supporter for it's kind of a passive active, but just the knockback so that she doesn't get overwhelmed by characters like Asagi or other Sakuras or even other Renkos. It kind of keeps them in check, keeps them at a distance so she can fish for Kirin and Wind Slashes, as well as Meteors, get her CC off and do her basic attack, And then it kind of just gives her thorns, where she'll deal 110% of the incoming damage back. And every third hit, it does cause a knockback. So very useful skill to use on her. It makes her deceptively tanky even at low level. We do keep Mai in the loadout for the 20% reduction, just like Sakura. And Haruka again for the reduction. This one is only S level 3, so she's only at 30% currently, but still very nice damage reduction. Last but not least, we'll look at my Ranger, Yuki. So for Yuki, I am using Greek Fire as the main weapon. Onibamore may become the main weapon when it gets to S level 5, but for right now, the 800 attack difference just makes Greek Fire the clear winner. Until I can get a PvP or a higher level Onibamore. Her skill is useless on this weapon in PvP, because like enemies don't have any super armor in this mode. But the benefit to that is she will not use any of her particles, meaning that if she's out for a prolonged period, she will be able to cast her ultimate and deal big damage. And with a 3800 base attack, that ultimate will be relatively beefy. So I just run this on her for now because I find that her damage output is quite pleasing in this mode. Looking at her skills, again, the name of the game is CC. I keep the Rakurai Ultimate Dodge on because it does have a reduced cooldown, and when she does dodge, it will stun the enemy for 4 seconds, allowing her to sit there and auto attack. And that would allow her to build meter as well as deal damage. We do run the Harai 10 for the same reason. It does have a nice amount of damage on crit, and it will make the enemy groggy when it connects, which is a nice form of CC yet again. And we use the Ryun for DPS. I do find that Yuki's AI seems smart enough that when it does Harai 10, it will go for a Ryun while the enemy is sitting there groggy. So it is a nice little bread and butter combo she has for herself that does come out pretty consistently. I do hope it happens in the video, and she doesn't make me out to be a liar so that you guys can see it. And then the Rakurai is kind of for when she's playing footsies and neutral game, and she's fishing for dodges so she can keep auto-attacking. It just provides CC long range. Looking at her supporters, I may eventually want to switch out and add Katajina as the main due to the duration on debuffs she does provide. But for right now, we are going to be using Kaworu because Katajina is only level 1. Kaworu will increase critical damage of all attacks, which pairs nicely with the Ryun for DPS. And looking at her ability, it does deal 150% and stun. Now, if Yuki doesn't continue to beat on the enemies, which can happen sometimes, Kaworu's second hit will proc because the enemy will stay stunned for the duration of her ability, and it will cause an additional hit that will deal even more damage, and it just gives her 2 chances to critical. So overall, this is just a decent supporter if you want to like cut someone's combo off, get them stunned, or just simply stun them to give Yuki room to breathe while she sets herself up. I am using Momoko for the additional particle recharge rate. It does help her get to that special faster. And right now, Yuna is a filler. I will run her in PvE always because the healing she gets with Ryun is stupid. But for PvP, she's more of a filler until I can get Katajina leveled up. In which case, I will decide whether I want to main Katajina or Kaworu for PvP, and then the other one would replace Yuna as the sub. So now that that's all been said and done, let's do a few matches so you guys can kind of see how my team works. Let me just get a manageable matchup. This'll do. Alrighty. Okay, as you can see what I mean, Sakura's AI kind of always frustrates me because it's just literally an idiot. But when she does get her skills off, you can see the damage output isn't something to be ignored. Like even against this level 75 Asagi, she was able to kind of pull a win out. So now we head into the mirror match, Sakura versus Sakura. If she survives Major, I may go ahead and cheer. There we go. Alright, now next up is the Renko. And now you will get to see a Renko mirror match. I did not check if the other Renko has a Fuma on, but it would be pretty comical if she does, because they'll both be knocking each other around constantly. Now, as you can see what I mean, like, it's really hard to open up as a melee character against a Fuma user. So they're both kind of having a hard time getting in on each other. And it's just going to probably come down to Fuma burst. Okay, she got her Groggy off. And this is the benefit of the build. Like, she had all of that time to do DPS. That'll be that. I'll probably just showcase a couple more matches. If Yuki doesn't get used in the next match, I will swap her to the front so you can see how she plays. What's happening here? I'll keep it as is. Sakura's AI is just... ugh. If I didn't like the damage she could output, I probably wouldn't use her because her AI is ridiculously stupid. Alright, so she got us through that. She did something right, guys. That's what I mean about her AI. Like, all of that time, she just kind of walked into Yuki. But either way, she got some good spins off, so this Yuki is crippled now. Which is what we want her for. Now Yuki is Renko's counter, but if Renko can get a groggy off, she may be able to finish her off. There we go, she did it. That was a good one. Alright, and that'll do. Since Renko's really been showing up, I'm gonna just go ahead and put Yuki first so to showcase her gameplay. And then this will be the last one I show, and then I'll leave you guys with that. Put you here. I think I'll leave Renko in the middle and keep Sakura as the anchor. Start match, see if I can get something going. Yeah, this should be fine. Alright. As you can see, she comboed right into Ryun and blew Asagi up. And it seems really consistent. I'm sure that the AI knows that she can do that. So, kudos to her for playing well. And she does it again for Sakura. That'll do. I probably should have taken the auto off of Kaoru so she didn't use it, but it's whatever. As you can see there, she did proc her stun off Rakurai. And this is what I was talking about, how using the Greek Fire affords her the chance to ult, and then she usually chains her ult into Ryun or her I-10 when she pops it off like she just did, and that does usually explode people. So that's just an example of what I'm using in PvP. I'd love to hear what you guys use in the comments or the Discord or wherever you want to share your builds. This has been working for me. Like, it has been able to help me maintain the top 100. Like, I'm currently sitting at number 45 on the ladder. So I will stick with this build for the foreseeable future until things in the meta change or I fall behind or what have you. So that is going to end today's video. Again, if you are interested in joining the Discord, the link will be in the description. I do hope you guys come to hang out. And with that, if it was informative, I do hope you guys like and subscribe, as it really does help me out. You guys go ahead. You have a great rest of your day. May you have good luck in your gotchas in the arena. I hope you're enjoying the new event, and you guys take care.